Triple film. Let's go.
We need to make some carbon ones.
Yeah, I know.
That would be awesome.
I think wood is actually maybe lighter.
It's possible.
Yeah,
it's very possible. How are we feeling?
I'll see on the bike. It's always hard to predict how you feel until you push watts, but so far so good. Hey guys, we are on the road to Paris-Roubaix. Paris-Roubaix is the biggest race in the US with the most participants, but I'm not here to do that. You guys have been asking for it a lot in the comment section. You want the Mid-South race recap. I have a lot of great footage, so I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna walk you through the pre-race, the race, and the post-race. So everything started at about 6 a.m. in downtown Stillwater. The weather was very cold. That was what everyone was fearing. I was actually very happy with that, with all the fat biking this winter. So the weather was actually perfect for me. So start was actually later than expected. So the start got delayed by 1 hour because people were complaining that it was too cold. So finally, at like 8:50, I'm on the start line, just seeing a lot of familiar faces, seeing Don Johnson from Jukebox Cycling. We're now teammates, so it was good to see him on the start line, seeing Brennan that I just had a good battle last week at Mount Shasta.
Adam Roberts' bike here. He has rigged up a homemade anti-mud device. I think his idea is that he can pull this tape off and like pull the mud off at some point.
Together we are! Hey! Together we are! Hey! Weak. Divided we are weak. Divided we are! Weak. Divided we are! Weak. Together we are! Hey!
At 9 a.m., the gun goes off. It's a start. We had an amazing speech just before by the race organizer that really got everyone super excited. So it made for a kind of a really not sketchy but pretty nervous start. Everybody wanted to be at the front. We didn't know actually how the gravel conditions were because everyone pre-rode the day before, and it was so muddy the day before that everyone was just waiting for that first gravel sector, because we knew that if it was muddy like the day before, it would be like total carnage as soon as we enter the sector. So at 10 kilometers in, we enter the first gravel sector that everyone was waiting for. To pretty much everyone's surprise, it was actually super dry, so it got time to dry it up with the strong wind during the night before. So actually, it stayed a big group for very long. So we were a group of about maybe 300 that got down to a group of maybe 150, but it stayed for a good 40 kilometers, a very, very big group. But at exactly 42 kilometers, we had the first Jeep sector of the ride. So we had 2 Jeep sector in the total of the circuit, and you know in Mid-South that the Jeep sector are gonna be crazy muddy for sure. They're always wet. So on that first Jeep sector, I actually knew where it was, so I made sure to be in good position. But I kind of hesitated once I was in, so people just right off got off of their bike, started running, because as you know, in Mid-South, when the mud is there, you cannot stay on your bike because it will jam your tire with your frame, because the mud is just pure clay. So some people started running, but I saw Payson going up on the side of the road, so it was like for sure 2 meters higher. It was on the side of the road, but just on the side of a barbed wire. So I was like, oh, that seems like a good idea. So it kind of got me back like 5 positions, and I followed Payson on that pretty sketchy overpass at the top. At first, I felt like I did the best move ever, but like literally like 10 seconds after, I got my jersey cut into the barbed wire. So I kind of got stuck into the barbed wire, and after that, our little shortcut, I guess, or a little way on the top, was not accessible anymore. So we had to dip again into the four-wheeler track, so we were pretty much at 0.0 with everyone running in the mud. So I wouldn't say it was the best move we ever made, but it was actually funny because after you can hear the commentator and everyone is just using our line thinking it's the best line.
So when they're coming through, Adam Roberge was the first guy smart enough to figure out you can come all the way up here and ride the pro line instead of slogging down here in the mud where people were just getting sunk.
So that sector really made a selection. So at the end of that sector, I was maybe in the second group with Payson, Stetna. Behind, we had a lot of strong guys. So we had Ted King, we had Brendan Wirtz trying to come back. So everyone was kind of pushing the pace in their respective group to make sure the other group were suffering. But it didn't take that long to pretty much have everyone together. So after like 15 minutes, we all got together once again. But then we were maybe a group of 50 riders, so it shed a good 50 riders. So we knew that this group was going to be the group to win. So once it got all back together after that first Jeep sector, we kind of chilled for a bit because we knew that the feed zone was at 70k. So we had a good like 20k to chill pretty much. So I got the chance to like start removing layers. People were talking, people were drinking. It's kind of always a weird sector of the race because you just hammered, like you literally like just tried to like drop everyone. Everyone was like one against the other. But then the stress kind of goes out and the stress come down because now you have that front group and people are making jokes, kind of catching up over like what happened during winter or something. And then it kind of accelerated a bit because the feed zone was approaching. So I made sure to be first in the feed zone because I knew I had to remove a lot of layers, but also I had to remove the thing I put for the mud that I didn't need it at all. So that's what I did. We did a pretty actually fast feed zone. I think I was in and out in less than 45 seconds.
Mandatory river crossing is?
The what?
Mandatory river crossing.
What do you want?
Remove that tape, put some oil.
Yep. Very quick stop. I'm just going to see right here. Just switch bottles. Thanks. Where am I at? Runs up the road, don't worry about it. Water?
Go get him, bud.
We're not being dickheads. Hey, buddy. Hey, Clay. Come on, be cool. All right.
Doing good at it. Too.
Yep. Hey, you're good.
Nice work, you guys.
Get on it. Need bottles? Go, Cole. You're good? You got food?
Bottles right there?
Yeah, bottles are there. Oh, my chain.
At the end, my chain dropped, so I got to chase back the group for maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes, but it was a pretty big 5 minutes. I think I did 5 minutes, just under 500 watts, but then I was back in the front group again. I think we lost maybe 5 or 6 competitors in that feed zone, so I think now we were down to a group of about 40 riders. So once I was back in the group, I didn't have long to chill because I knew that the second Jeep track was just pretty much 5 kilometers away. I did it in the pre-ride this one and I know how crazy it was. So it was a Jeep track and at one point you literally had to take a single track, you went down a dip and then up a dip, and after that it was super hilly and super hard gravel. So I knew this was the time to make my move. So when we were approaching that sector, Stetna and Payson knew something was coming up. So I was just behind those two guys in perfect position. And once we really entered the rugged sector, I just put my attack and I was first into the single track. And once in the single track, it was me, Payson behind me, and Michael Van Den Heijn. So I knew it was the perfect trio for this sector because Michael just raced a world championship cyclocross, so that's his first choice type of riding. We were able to actually ride that dip, but just on top of the dip, not sure what I did, but I was not able to stay on my bike, so Payson and Michael went on the left of me, but I was able to get on my bike pretty fast cyclocross style. So once we got out of the single track, we were just the three of us, but it literally took like 1 minute, and Griffin Easter was with us. I was actually very happy with having Griffin because I know how strong he is. So we were like a group of 4, but really strong 4 guys. So I was trying to motivate everyone to kind of work together. Griffin was willing, Michael was willing, but Payson was really strategical, and looking back on it, he was probably right. He was like, guys, it's a 50 kilometers headwind. I don't think it's a good idea to go balls out right now. So finally, we just got caught by the second group. So Ted was in the second group, Peter was in the second group, Brennan was in the second group. So pretty much all the guys that you think have a chance to win. So once we were all back together, at first everyone was working pretty good together because nobody wanted the extra guys to come back. But it didn't take long for a lot of guys to start playing games. The headwind was so strong that if you were staying in the wheels, you were saving a good 30% or 40% of the power output. So it was really worth it. Be smart about it and not take too much work. So that created a little bit of heat in the group. And at one point, people were arguing and people were getting less and less concentrated on what was happening. And next thing I knew, I saw Payson on the ground. I was literally able to avoid it by maybe, I don't know, like 5 or 10 centimeters. But just behind me, we had Brennan and Ted. So Brennan and Ted went into Payson. Unfortunately, on that crash, Payson broke his collarbone and also a bone in his hand. The good thing is that we slowed the pace after the crash, and Ted and Brennan were able to come back. So Ted, I think, crashed a little bit less hard, so he was able to come back pretty fast. But Brennan actually did a crazy effort. I would like to see his watts, because he crashed, and after that he had to fix a puncture because his front tire punctured because he went into Payson too hard, I guess. So I'm not sure exactly how he was able to come back. That speaks to his good form. If Mount Shasta was not enough to speak of how strong he is right now, that's another indicator. So after that unfortunate event, we were down to a group, again, about maybe 14 riders. People were like trying their best. They were just attacking and hoping we were let them go. But every time, if it was me, if it was Tetna, if it was Brennan, everybody was following. But finally, Cole went for a sneaky move, and we kind of all look at each other and we were like, I guess we're good with him at the front. I would say that we were not too worried about his power. Cole is a very light rider, so you don't expect him to be able to push that much power, especially in terms of pure power. Climbing is super fast because he's light, so power to weight ratio is very good. So we were seeing Cole at about 20 meters from us, then it got to 30 meters, then it got to 40 meters, and after that we were really keeping him at 40 meters. But then we started organizing a chase, and it was not coming back too much. And at 3K to go, we actually got caught behind a red light. So once the red light hit, we had to put feet on the ground. We actually had to slow down for one, and then the other one we had to put the feet on the ground. And from now on, it was the win for gold. It was perfect timing. You hear that also in Paris-Roubaix when sometimes a group is stuck behind a train track when the train is passing and the guys in front are just going for the win. I'm pretty sure Cole would have it anyway. It would have probably made for a more stressful finish for him. But I hope he got the chance to really enjoy himself because he got a good gap with that light and he was able to very appreciate the last kilometers. And like I said, it was a perfect place move. So then it was pretty much a race for second place. We pretty much sprinted out.
Look at this now! This is freaking awesome! This is now!
was third. That was pretty much the only time I was really not happy with the change I made the day before, because Addison and I decided to put the 1x on, and pretty much at 40 meters from the line I was not able to pedal anymore because I was topping off seated at like 180 RPM or something. So not too satisfied with that sprint. I think I had the leg to at least compete with second place. But yeah, I was third on the day. Orange Steel did a perfect day, perfect strategy. They had Cole in first and Dennis in second. Brendan took fourth. Not sure exactly who was fifth. I think Pete was sixth. John was seventh and Ted was eighth. Everyone was super stoked at the finish line, just exchanging how it went. As usual, the race organizer gives a big hug to everyone at the end, so that's like something that's really iconic about the Mid-South. So the race organizer, Bobby, will just stay up from the first rider. He will be at the line to the last rider crossing, so we will start the hugs at like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. for the shorter rides. And you will end the hugs at like midnight for the last people coming in of the 100 miles.
Adam Robert's third place today, buddy. Looked like you might have done some dirt sampling there. How you feeling?
It's better to win for sure. Orange Seal did a good teamwork, so for everyone that's wondering if there's teamwork in gravel, there is. Yeah, it was like a road race pretty much, kind of, except the two sectors that were more technical where I got the chance to meet a barbed wire. And yeah, other than that, all the changes Addison made at like midnight yesterday didn't do anything because the condition changed from 100% from what it was yesterday.
Another podium for you, great job. More to come for you this year for sure.
Yeah. Thank you to Jukebox, everyone that is supposed to be on the jersey. The jersey is coming very soon. I don't mind the all black though. I like it.
The man in black here. Nice job, Adam Robert.
Thank you.
Well
so
done,
much.
brother.
Yeah, for my first Mid-South, it didn't get muddy, it didn't get crazy, but it was still a very entertaining race. It kind of turned out into a really strategical race where you had to really choose your moment to make a move. And yeah, couldn't be more excited for the rest of the season. So thanks for listening to that race recap. Let me know if you like that more casual style or if you would like better just like I did a lot of my video last year, like more of a voiceover precise way to do it. And yeah, that's about it. As usual, take care of yourself by making the most optimal choice in every moment, and do the same to take care of the ones you love.